All right. Well, after that little like montage at the beginning, I just wanted to, show the car off a little bit. I'm going to get a little more in depth on basically what's done to the car and, just kind of everything about it. So I will start off by saying, yes, this is Jacob Ardotti's old car. He's a good friend of mine, and I sold an '03 Cobra that I paid super cheap for and ended up getting a crazy high offer for it, and I used that money, bought this, and did some other stuff with the rest of the money. But he gave me a good deal on it, and I ended up picking it up. This isn't my first S197. I've had two others before this, but this is definitely like the most modded and most done up. And honestly, this is probably out of the, I would say, I don't know, maybe 10 to 15 Mustangs I've had. This one is by far my favorite. So I basically just want to do a brief little walk around, show everything that's done to it and share the car with you. I hope, in the future to make some more content with it. But, as of now, I just this is what I'm doing. I'm in California, so it's kind of hard to get out and really do it, especially because, I don't have many friends that I can go and film with and make content with, but, we'll make do with what we got. So let's just get started with the basic. This is a 2013 Mustang GT. Right now, it's just at about 109,000 miles. I've only owned it for maybe coming up on 2 months now, but my buddy Jacob, who I bought it off of, had it, I think he said like 8 years or something, and bought it almost stock with just a couple simple things. Like it was lowered, had some 20-inch Verdes on it, and I think it had like these side splitters and the spoiler and stuff like that already done to it. I think it had an axle back and an H-pipe or something, but it was pretty stock overall. So over those 8-ish years that he had the car, he has pretty much done everything you see here for the most part. So I guess let's just start with the outside. So I will say, first things first, the car is dirty and it needs a paint correction. I just haven't had time to get around to doing it. The weather's been kind of shitty here in California at this time, so it's, it's raining and shit. I don't want to put in hours of work on this paint to get it perfect, just for it to, sometimes when I open up this garage door and it's raining outside, it'll drip all over the car. So I just have been kind of waiting, but that'll get to it. But let's just start at the front, work our way back, and then maybe we'll jump to the inside and then the drivetrain and shit like that. So starting off up here at the front, he did a full OEM GT500 conversion on it. This is all OEM Ford stuff. This is not cheap manufactured stuff. The front lip, the grills, the front bumper, all of it's OEM, and it's super nice. I don't know exactly the brand of side markers, but they do light up orange with just like an orange LED strip in it, which I do really like. And currently the fog lights are a amber fog light, so they kind of go yellow with the rest of the theme. Although this morning when I started the car, even though I drove it last night, passenger side isn't working, so I'm gonna have to get another set of them. Cheap Amazon shit, but that's no biggie. And then he does have, well, I say he, it's my car now, but I say he because he's the one that kind of did it all. But it's got a blacked out Coyote badge on it. Funny story, when he did this bumper, he got it painted. He brought it home. He was trying to get the car ready for SEMA, because Dynovan, which is what he has in that, featured his car on SEMA back in the year that he did it. And he ended up putting this bumper in front of his car. He was showing it off to the camera, which you can go and watch this video on his channel. And he ended up getting in the car and running the bumper over because he forgot to move it. So that was a whole mess. He ended up getting it repainted and everything, and it came out flawless. But I don't know if it's been repainted since then, but I mean, the front bumper's in great condition. There's only like 1 or 2 rock chips on it. Other than that, it's flawless. And obviously the lip is incredibly low, so it does get scraped up. Like if you come over here, it's got a little scrapage on it, but nothing crazy. I would love to eventually go full carbon on the lip and the grills, but just that scraping scares me. But I don't know, maybe that's something we'll do later on down the road. Keeping it going, factory GT hood. I do plan on getting a Cervini Cobra R style 2.5-inch cowl hood. I've considered keeping the stock GT hood, but I feel like a cowl would really set off the front end compared to everything it's already got. Other than that, if I kept the stock hood, I'd probably get carbon heat extractor vents, because that would be a real nice touch. Coming to the wheels, these are Ibushi forged wheels. I believe they're an Alibaba forged wheel, but they are 100% legit forged. They're not like a cheap remake. They are 100% forged, and they're supposed to be styled after a Forge Line wheel, which it's a little different. Like when it comes to this area, it's a little different, but the whole center of the spoke design is all the same, and they are finished in a brushed aluminum. They're a little dirty right now. Like I said, the car is dirty, but they are a full brushed aluminum. Specs, front and back. He did build this car to be a track car because he has a drift Corvette, so he wanted a track car. So he ended up doing a 19 by 11 in the rear and the front. So it's a 52 offset 19 by 11 with 305/30 in TO1s and all four corners. The reason he did that is so that way, tire changes would be easy. He didn't need a specific for the front and the back, and it could, he could put these in the back and vice versa. But because of that, it causes him to have to run a 1-inch spacer up in the front. And once again, I say him, but I mean me, but he's the one that did it also. It's a little confusing, but I have a 1-inch spacer. This is not an adapter. This is a legit spacer. So you can see all the way to the rotor through there. And I have like 1-inch extended lugs. So the lugs go all the way from there, all the way through the spacer into here. These are not like an adapter, so I'm not worried about them breaking. These are Apex brand 25 mil spacers, or 1-inch basically. The only problem with that is you need the spacer in order to clear the coilovers, which I'll get to in a second. But because of that, it makes it stick out quite aggressively. So it actually has a aggressive bit of camber, looking front to back, which personally isn't that big of a deal. The fitment on it is super tight right now, and I love how it sits. But I have been considering maybe trying to swap that out for a 3/4 inch spacer and seeing if I can take a little camber out. I need to get in there and look at how the coilovers, you can see them deep in there, clear the wheel. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't really messed with this car much since I've owned it, but I do want to get in there and maybe try and take a little camber out and get it a little bit in more. But due to that, they did rub when you first put them on. So this tire does have a little bit of rubbing, but all three other tires are good. That's the only one that rubbed a little bit, but that caused him to have to roll the fenders. And when he rolled them, they got pulled a little bit. So you can see they're not perfectly flat. They are a little pulled, and it caused it to suck in this corner. So what I'm going to do one of these days is I'm going to jack this up and I'm going to see if I can bend this corner back out flat. But other than that, it's not really noticeable. It's not bacon fender, so it doesn't look like shit. It just, me, I'm super OCD. That's something I notice, and it does bother me a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. I can deal with it. On that note, the next thing I want to show you is the coilovers. So front and back, they're Fortunato 510 coilovers. Now these are a super high quality, race-oriented coilover, super adjustable, and he's got them fully spec'd out. So when you order them, you can like choose what kind of coils you want, what kind of adjustment, blah, blah, blah. He's got them fully spec'd out. They're a very expensive set of coilovers, and they ride fantastically. I love them so much. They're so smooth. They just, I have no complaints about them. They're super nice. I love them. They are pretty expensive. I think the set his is set up is almost like $3,000, not including shipping. But he had a bag set up, which actually my buddy has his old bags on his S197, and I'm honestly way more happy with this. I probably would have got rid of the bags if he still had them, but yeah. Okay, so let's move past the wheels and suspension, which also I probably could add in. It's basically got full tubular suspension. I'm not 100% sure the brand, but front and back is all tubular. You can see it up in there. There's a sticker on it, but I don't remember what the sticker said. But yeah, it's all done up how it should be. Like I said, this was kind of a track built car. He did take it to one track event, and he said it was too hard on the car, so he never took it again. But it is set up for track. I could go right now and run it on the track. All right, so next thing, we've got carbon fiber side splitters. I have no clue the brand, but they are high quality. They're nice. They sit nice and flat. A problem with these side skirts is sometimes they sag when you get these splitters, but these are super nice. They look super good. He's also got the factory mud flaps on the front, and he's got carbon fiber ones in the back, which the only issue with having carbon right here along the side of the car is they get beat up. Rocks hit them. and they get chipped up, which you can see right here. The clear coat's completely chipping off of these. People getting in and out of the car, their shoes catch them and it cracks it. So one of these days I'm going to go through and I'm going to pull off all the carbon and I'm going to have it all redone just for my OCD. But as of now, it looks good. You know, you don't really notice it unless you're looking up close. He's also got blacked out 5.0 badges. Looks super nice, super clean. That's how it should be done. Nothing really going on, you know, around here. Doesn't have side scoops or any of that stuff, thankfully. But coming to the back, I already showed you. He's got the carbon fiber mud flaps on the back, or rock flaps, and some more carbon fiber side splitters. He's also got this is just like a nice tinted LED side marker. Super chill, super low key. Look really good and go with the rest of the style of the car. Keeping it going, so he's also got a carbon GT500 rear spoiler, and I keep saying he's got, I'm sorry, like I said, he built this car, so it's hard for me to take credit for what he did on this thing. There's only like 2 things I've done to it so far, but so I keep saying he's got, but this is my car, so sorry, it's a little confusing. But it is a GT500 carbon fiber spoiler. You can see it is a little hazy. I need to pull this off and get it re-cleared. I would like to do that gurney flap extension that they do. It's just a little tiny, like 1-inch flap that goes on this, and it just kind of adds a little bit of aggressiveness to the rear. I think that would look really good. Continuing the carbon, he's also got a carbon plate bezel, whatever that thing's called. I don't really know what that's called, but that is the license plate bezel, and it is carbon. And then he's also got a GT500 rear diffuser in carbon as well. So we're carbon fibered everywhere. That's why I was considering doing the carbon side vent, or the carbon heat extractors, if I didn't keep this hood, and doing the carbon stuff up front. I also seen at a meet, a GT500 had carbon mirrors. I think that would look really cool. He had the full thing carbon. I want to see if it's just like, if I can get just this piece carbon. I think that'd be good, and it'd add like a real nice little touch to it. All right, coming back to the back, the only exterior thing I have done to the car so far is the taillights. I ended up putting on the clear Euro taillights. My wife got me these for Christmas. They're super nice. I love them so much. We'll see if I, so you can see my side marker. And those, they look fucking fantastic. Let me also show you the fronts if I can. There's amber side markers. Oh, and I forgot the headlights. These are custom built. They're the factory headlights, opened up, painted, and he replaced these DRL strips with a switchback DRL. So my blinkers are those parts. If I hit the hazards, there you go. Taillights look great. And then the last thing that's on the back, it has a, I don't remember what brand his is, but it's a deck lid delete, and then he added the GT badge, which personally, when I watched his video of him installing that, that's actually the first video I ever watched, is his installing of that part. I really wasn't a fan of the GT badge. I thought it looked kind of dumb. I was like, you know, what's the point of doing a badge delete deck lid just to add another badge? But owning the car, I do think it adds a little touch to the back that it might look a little like plain if it wasn't there. But I have no plans of messing with it. I have considered maybe getting a carbon fiber one, but I think that might be just a little too much carbon in the back. I think it's pretty perfect how it is right now. Enough rambling. I think that's pretty much everything on the outside. It's got all the little touches you would want to do to it, and I do plan on doing a couple things more, the main being the hood. I would love to do that cowl hood and just little carbon accent bits. I would love to get some carbon mirror caps, or even if I find a good deal on the whole thing, but I would mainly just like these. I would love to get a carbon wiper cowl, possibly even one that has wiper deletes. I'm from a new edge world, as you can tell. I love new edges, and that's kind of always my thing. I always pulled the wipers off. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty much good. Needs a paint correction, which I do plan on getting to. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much everything on the outside. Let's move to the inside. Now, don't mind the dirt on my floor mat. When I take this car to work, my brother rides with me, and he's always got muddy boots, so I need to clean that out. But other than that, the car is immaculate. It's such a beautiful car. He's done this interior so, like, just perfectly touched, and I don't know if I would change a single thing. It's funny because, like I said, before this car, I thought all this carbon stuff was kind of tacky and it looked like shit, but it does give it a very modern and premium feel, even though it is just a sticker, you know, that just goes over the original bezel. Just a little sticker. It makes it feel way more premium. It's, you know, it's probably stupid, and a lot of people think it's tacky, but personally, I think it's nice. It's a lot better than that ugly silver that's normally there. Taking a seat inside the car, I mean, yeah, it's as you would expect. It's got carbon fiber literally everywhere, all over the dash, all over the bezels, down the center, all of this, down that door. Steering wheels, carbon fiber, obviously. This thing's all carbon fiber. So the steering wheel is carbon fiber. This is all custom built. This is not like an overlay. It's carbon fiber with perforated leather and yellow stitching, as well as the yellow center stripe. The steering wheel, the shift knob, the shift boot, and my e-brake boot are all made by Jado Performance, which they are no longer in business. I believe COVID took them out. But yeah, they made everything. This is a factory shift knob, but it's just been reskinned and had an overlay put on it. So if I was to take a knife and cut this open, the stock shift knob would be underneath it. He had an aftermarket carbon fiber shift knob, I think, or a yellow one, but he said he didn't like the way it felt. He liked the stock shifter better, and Jado hooked him up with doing it to match all this other stuff. Going off of that, I have no clue the brand of all this carbon fiber, but it is very nice. It's very high quality. It doesn't look cheap. You know, you can tell that there's like a clear coat over it. It doesn't like just look like a sticker, you know, or like a wrap, but it's everywhere. And it looks really good. He's also got red lights up here. Not sure why, but it doesn't really bother me that much. This has a Dynavan 8 Pro, I believe. I think that's what it's called. It's a great radio. They're incredibly common on these cars, but mine has been a little glitchy. I think when Jacob had this installed, it was like when the 8s first came out, and he was kind of like a tester for them. So I think it's just a little outdated. It needs an update. It really struggles with wireless Android Auto, which I have. I don't know if Apple Auto or Apple CarPlay works. Other than that, I mean, it works great just for a Bluetooth radio. I do know the 9s are out, so I would love to upgrade to a 9, but they're like $800 for just the head unit, and then I don't know what I would need to convert it to the new stuff. But other than that, it works great. This car does have a full sound system in it. It's got, you can kind of see the speakers in the doors. I don't know what kind they are, but they are some really nice. To me, they look like Focals, but I haven't been able to take the door off and look at them. I personally don't really care enough, but they sound great. It's also got speakers in the back, and it's got a pair of JL W310s in it and a ported box. Sounds great. It's perfect for a daily cruiser. You know, this is more of like a show car than anything. It sounds great, and it does exactly what you need it to. I would love to add a bass knob, just because sometimes not having the adjustability it just makes it hard to enjoy some music, because one song will come on, there's almost no bass. The next song will come on, and there's too much bass. So I come from a world of car audio, and bass knobs have always been where I like it. So I will eventually end up probably maybe upgrading the subs and just giving the system a full go through. I would love to add a bass knob. I would love to just make sure everything's wired right, everything's tuned right, and just get it all running good. But other than that, it sounds great. It looks great. There's nothing I can complain about. Moving on to the next thing would be probably one of the more obvious things, is this has Recaros. These are the cloth Recaro, which I actually really prefer over the leathers. My buddy has a leather in his, and I'm just not a fan of them. I really like the cloth. Jacob got a really good deal on these when he did them. He traded his stock cloth seats for these plus some money, and these are just in fantastic condition. They're extremely comfortable. I'm a big guy. I'm about 6'1", and I weigh about 220. Not like, you know, chunky, but not super muscular. And these fit me so nice, so comfortable. I love them so much, and I wouldn't want to have another S197 without Recaros. These seats are just incredible. And kind of the last big part of the interior would be the seat belts. He had all of the seat belts removed. I think he said he was struggling with getting them to retract, so he sent them out, got them rebuilt, and had them changed to yellow at the same time as he got them rebuilt. He does say he wished he would have went with a little darker yellow because these are kind of on the verge of being like a neon yellow compared to, like, say, the calipers that are a little darker. They're a little more gold. If you kind of get them in frame here, they're just a little darker to them, but they look great. It's those stupid little touches that most people don't ever think about. I think this is so cool. My kids love them. They thought that the yellow seatbelts were like the coolest thing ever. But other than that, that's pretty much everything that's on the interior. Once again, super simple, super tasteful, and very well done. This car has changed my mind on a lot of things, like the rear deck lid, and a big thing is the steering wheel. I was never a fan of flat bottom carbon steering wheels in these cars. I thought they were a little tacky, but I honestly like it. You know, I didn't spend the money on it technically, so for me, I'm like, look, I think it's cool. I like it. So just before we get into the motor, which there's not much there, but there is a very important thing in there, I want to go over the basics on the drivetrain. So like I said before, it's on coilovers. It's got tubular suspension. The rear end is the only thing that has not been touched at all. It's completely stock. It's the factory axles, factory rear end, never been opened. It's got stock 355s in it. I would like to up them to 373s, but the car already loses traction like anything under third gear, and I have to roll into third gear. I can't hit it in third gear. But that's also because it's kind of cold right now, so I don't know if when it's 90 degrees outside, if the blower's a little temp down and I'll be able to grip up in second or whatever. But as of right now, I don't really want to touch it. It's kind of one of those things that's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, So moving on from the rear end, let's go on to the transmission. So this does have the factory MT82 in it, but he has done his due diligence with doing what needs to be done. So this has a MGW trans-mounted shifter, so no linkages. It's all mounted directly to the transmission, so shifts are super crispy, super tight, which I'll get in there in just a second and kind of show you how they feel. It does have a Mantic twin disc clutch in it, about a $2,500 clutch. It feels amazing, and it's super lightweight, feels just like stock. The only weird thing for someone like me who's never driven a twin disc is you almost have to like slip the clutch to get it to go. So in a way, it feels wrong. It feels like you don't know how to drive a manual and you're like messing it up, but it's totally normal. It's how the clutch needs to be driven. Jacob himself even said that. And yeah, other than that, it feels fucking great. And I definitely wouldn't change it, especially being a $2,500 clutch. That's crazy. But other than the clutch, moving on, we got the trans-mounted shifter. This has a one-piece aluminum drive shaft in it from, I think he said the drive shaft shop or something like that. He said he was dealing with some vibrations or something, and he thought the stock two-piece drive shaft these cars come with was giving us some issues. So he ended up redoing the drive shaft on it, but he said it ended up being a different problem that he figured out. But now it's got a one-piece aluminum drive shaft. And then he also did, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's some sort, I think it's called like a BG slurry or something like that. It is a type of concoction that you put inside of the MT82s that kind of help with the synchros. They help with gears. As we know, MT82s are not the most reliable, but a huge thing with them, the reason they fail is because the stock shifter sucks and the stock clutch sucks. So most of the time, if you do a shifter and a clutch, they will last you twice as long easily. But that slurry that he put in does give that added, bit of protection to it. So I'm not worried about the transmission. I have not done any very hard shifts. Like I said, I can't even grip up anything other than third. Jesus Christ, I can't speak. But I have done some pretty aggressive third to fourth shifts, and it takes it all day. I haven't missed a shift yet. So far, it's been treating me great, and I've been super happy with it. Let's hop in real quick, and I'll show you what the shifter looks like. I got us into 0.5 mode just to kind of show you what the inside looks like. Quality is going to be a little less, but here's what the interior looks like. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. He also did the premium gauge cluster swap in it. That was a whole nightmare of itself. He has that filmed on his channel. It ended up bricking the ECU, and it was a huge problem. But he's got it in. It works great. He's got it on... oh, you can't really see it. He's got it on the yellow color right now. Oh, wait, was it warming up? It was. So he's got it on the yellow colorway right now. I think it looks great. It accents the rest of the yellow. But anyway, the way this transmission feels is just fantastic. It's very notchy, but it's not too notchy where like you're worried that you're not going to click into gear. My wife drove this car the first night we got it, and she was struggling getting into second, but once she learned that you just need to just shift it, you need to just pull it into gear. It's so easy to drive, and it's so comfortable. It is so tight and snug in here. There is no play like anywhere on this shit. It feels great. I definitely wouldn't put it any other way. My buddy's car that has the bags and the leather Recaros, he's got a Barton shifter that I actually installed in it, and that one is probably twice as notchy as this. So this one feels great. I love it. I really wouldn't go. MGW is the guys for the shifters going into every gear. It's so smooth, so comfortable. Definitely wouldn't change it for anything else. All right, and now probably the last thing before I pop the hood and we talk about the engine is the exhaust. So the second thing that I've done to this car, besides the taillights, is the exhaust. This came from Jacob, factory cats, had the factory H-pipe, the factory over-axle pipes, and it had the Corsa Sport quad-tip exhaust. Now this one specifically, I've learned, this is not a GT500 exhaust. I guess Corsa, for a certain amount of time, made a 5.0 specific sport axleback. So those are different from GT500 sport axlebacks. Don't ask me how. I don't know what the difference is, but supposedly they're like tuned to fit the 5.0 better other than the 5.8 that the GT500s had. They're different. I figured it's worth mentioning just because it does. If someone's like, "Oh, I've got the sports, why doesn't mine sound like that?" I don't know. That's just what they are. They're 500 specific. But the only thing that I've done to it, that I have changed, is I hate, with a burning passion, I hate H-pipes. So I found myself a Pipes X-pipe, and I had that put in place of the H-pipe. So it still has factory cats. It's got the Pipes X-pipe, and then it's got factory over axles, still has the factory resonators, and it has the Corsa quad tip sport axleback. But I personally love the way it sounds. Jacob gave me cat delete pipes with it. I had no interest in running cat deletes. I think this car sounds so good, and it's so perfect how it is. You can hear the blower super well over the exhaust. If it was any louder, I really don't know like how I would be able to do stuff. You do a little pull down the road, and everyone through the neighborhood can fucking hear you. But this setup is just perfect, and I do not plan on changing it. Maybe later down the road, like when I'm out of state and I don't have to worry about California, I'll do some long tubes or something. But other than that, I'm keeping it how it is. I know if I got pulled over today, I wouldn't have to worry about a state ref or anything. So it's that kind of like peace of mind, But other than that, sounds great. I love it. Let's move on to the motor. All right, so getting to the motor. Obviously, the biggest deal that's under this hood is that it's got yellow coil. No, I'm just kidding. It's got a Gen 5 3-liter Whipple on it. Oh man, I don't even know what to say about something like this. I've never driven a car like this, and the way that this fucking thing moves is just incredible. It's got the factory, I believe it's a 3.875 pulley on it. It's on a conservative tune, so this, fun fact, is 100% carb legal here in California. So with the factory cats and this setup, how I have it, it is 100% smog legal. I can take it to the smog shop and they will pass it how it sits. So it's on a low boost tune. I think it's tuned right around like 8 or 9 pounds. It makes 630 to the wheels, which is super safe on these motors. We know that these things don't like anything over like around like 700, maybe 750 if you have a super healthy motor. But it's running 630, low boost, and it's so much fun. It's such a blast. I can't imagine pushing upwards of 900 horsepower on something like this because, like I said, I already lose traction in third gear in this car. I couldn't imagine anything other than that. So it's powder-coated yellow. His whole theme was black and yellow on this car, so he did the coil covers yellow, which almost match dead identical, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's got this big old fat intake on it, big oval monoblade throttle body. I currently have the lid off of the intake, these bolts were squeaking a little bit, and so I took them off, and then I wanted to hear how it sounded with the lid off, and it sounded like 5 times louder than it sounds with the lid on, so I kind of just left it off. When the temperatures get hotter out here in California, I'll probably end up putting that back on to keep the IATs down. But as of right now, I only drive the car like maybe once, twice a week, and it's cold out right now, like highs of 60s, so I'm not too worried about it. It's got a strut brace, and here you can see the Fortunato coilovers. Camber's maxed out because of the whole thing I explained at the beginning. Factory, or not the factory, but an OEM battery. But yeah, other than that, it's super, super chill. This car does have oil pump gears in it, and it does have, let me grab a flashlight. So if we look down, it does have the, oh man, can't see. I only got one hand there. It's got the MFP crank support bracket, so you can see the whole bracketry system. There's a little Whipple arm right there. It does have the MFP crank support. It's got billet oil pump gears, and I believe it's got like a crank gear or crank sprocket. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I was told. So pretty much, besides building the motor itself, it's like pretty bulletproofed as a stock motor, you know? Like without having to open it, do cams, do internals, all that bullshit. It's pretty bulletproofed. A crank support is incredibly unnecessary for a car like this. You don't need those until you're running upwards of like 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower. That's when you really want them. But Jacob wanted to be super cautious, and he didn't want to have to worry about replacing this motor anytime soon, because as you know, these motors are not cheap. They're not cheap at all. So he did it just as a kind of safe bulletproofing. So that paired with the low boost tune, and it's only running 91 octane, it's super safe. The motor to the transmission to the whole drivetrain setup, everything about this car is super safe. And that is one of the reasons I love this thing so much, because there is nothing I have to think about. I loved my Cobra. That was a dream car for me. I got it for an insane deal. I got it right down the street, low miles, super clean. Some of you have seen it on my channel before. I loved that car so much. But when the guy offered me double what I paid for it, and I knew that I could buy this and pay off my other daily and pay off some things and still pocket some money, I was like, it's a no-brainer. I loved that car so much, but there was so much you had to think about it. I had it low, you know, it didn't drive 100%. I did a clutch in it, and for some reason I couldn't get the clutch figured out. So it never felt right. It never felt solid. This car feels fucking solid. I love this thing so much. There is not anything that I have to worry about. I love that I can just get in, start it up, and fucking drive. It's got a full sound system. Transmission's done. Exhaust is done. Blower's done. Suspension, wheels. I mean, this thing is fucking done. I had easily to get my Cobra where this car is sitting right now, like at the same setup. Easily, I had another 50 grand worth of parts I needed to pay for it. But this is just, it's done. And I only paid like just over 20,000. I don't know if Jacob ever said the full price, but I only paid just over 20,000 for it. And he gave me a really good deal on it. I know it was hard for him, but he's seen me over the past probably 6 years with all the cars I've owned, and he's seen what kind of care I take with these cars. And this car has not been mistreated at all. Like I said, I still need to correct the paint. But other than that, this car has been treated flawlessly. I wipe down the engine regularly. I haven't touched this engine in probably, I don't know, I would say probably a month. And I mean, it's still super clean. It's just, it runs great. I don't really know what more to say about this car. This car is so just like perfect in every way. But I hope that in the future, I can get out with some buddies and I could film a little more content, maybe some exhaust clips, maybe some driving clips. I would love to get something set up where I could do some POV driving. I don't know if I need to buy a GoPro or those Meta glasses or what I need to do. I would love to get something set up with some POV driving, just cruising around, getting some blower noise, getting some exhaust noise, getting some tire spin, just having fun. With everything being said, I think I got everything. I might have missed a couple things. But if I did, or if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down in the comments. I love this car so much, and I genuinely do not plan on getting rid of it. I've said that with all my cars in the past, especially the Cobra. This one feels different. I love this car so much, and what I've been able to do with it, it's incredible. So if you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, hopefully we can get some content in the future. But other than that, yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned. I'm hoping, maybe one day in the future, I'll get out to Jacob again. He only lives like 45 minutes away from me. And, he can maybe drive the car again for old time's sake and just give us some content on it. I can't wait to paint correct it. I'm eager. I got all my stuff in my cabinet. Like I said, the weather's been shitty and I haven't had time. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, any questions, just let me know. But other than that, yeah, I think I covered everything. All right, we'll see you later. Peace.